Dear students, I wish a very warm greeting to everyone. I am Professor Suraj Mishra. In today's lecture from the subject Energy Environmental Engineering, our topic of discussion is biodiversity and its conservation. Here we will be discussing about definition, introduction and levels of biodiversity. We will also study about biogeographical classifications of India. We will also be covering biodiversity at global and national level. Starting with the definition, biodiversity is the variety of life on earth. The presence of different types of plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms in our environment enriches our lives. This variety of living organisms exists at three main levels, which are known as levels of biodiversity. These are genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecosystem diversity. Genetic diversity refers to the variation within a species due to difference in combination of genes, which are transformed from one generation to another. For example, different types of apples and different types of rice varieties, as shown in the picture. Different varieties of wheat and pulses. Here, species diversity refers to the variety of different species in an area. Example, many types of birds, insects, and animals, such as lion, tiger, deer. Species diversity also refers to the different types of flora and fauna. Flora, including flowers such as lotus, water lily, etc., and fauna includes animal such as deer, lizard, dragonfly, etc. Ecosystem diversity, which is also known as community diversity, it refers to the variety of habitats, communities, and different ecological processes. For example, forest, river ecosystem, wetlands, and coral reefs had its own community. This three level biodiversity is important because it essentially supports the processes that support all the life on earth, including humans. Biogeographical classification of India. As we already know that India is one among the 12 mega biodiversity countries. India has more than 47,000 species of plants and more than 81,000 species of animals. And to know about the relationship of these plants and animals, biogeographers has classified India into 10 biogeographical zones. Each zone has its own climate, its own soil, and biodiversity of flora and fauna. Here is the list of India's 10 major biogeographical zones. Starting from the top of India's map, the Himalayan mountain regions, these are identified by high peak, deep valleys, and fast flowing rivers. The fauna in these regions includes different varieties of medicinal plants and varieties of edible plants, whereas in terms of fauna, here we can see snow leopard, red panda. Now, desert region. The defining feature of desert is dryness because evaporation exceeds rainfall, and to survive in this shortage of water, plants and animals of desert region have acquired unique survival skills. For example, cactus plants and camel. Also, semi-arid region, here we see important food crops like wheat. Talking about the peninsula region, these are identified by the stable landmass having gentle hills and wide valleys. Here we can do traditional farming. For example, Deccan Plateau and Malwa Plateau. In these regions, we found different varieties of neem and teak wood, and in terms of flora, that is different varieties of plants. And talking about the varieties of fauna, that is animals, we see here wild dogs, Bengal tiger, Indian elephant, leopard, black buck. Another is Western Ghat region. The defining feature is the sloping area. It includes states such as Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Goa, Maharashtra, and Gujarat. Evergreen forests are found here, and these forest receives heavy rainfall throughout the year. This Western Ghat region of India is home to more than 5,000 flowering plant species, more than 500 bird species. And when we talk about the animals, here we found Nilgiri, Indian gaur, lions, and elephants. In biodiversity, each organism provides benefit and adds to the value. Here we can see the importance of values of biodiversity, namely consumptive values, productive values, social values, ethical values, aesthetic values, and option values. As we know that the medicine that we use are obtained from the plants, and the food that we eat are also obtained from the plants, so it adds to consumptive value. The product that we derive from plants and animals adds to the productive value. For example, we obtain silk from the silkworm, wool from the sheep, tusk from the elephants, and we use fish and animal as food, so they add to the productive value. Our India is a rich biodiversity nation. Here, some plants and animals are associated with the religious and spiritual aspect. Example, Tulsi plant and holy animal cow adds to the social value. Talking about the ethical values, here in India, we consider river Ganga as a spiritual river and a sacred river, which may or may not give pleasure, but we preserve, and this adds to the ethical value. Let's discuss about the global biodiversity. We already know that the total number of living species in the world are about 20 million, but only 1.5 million species are found and given name. These species could be terrestrial biodiversity or the marine diversity. Biodiversity at national level. Our India is considered as a mega diversity nation because of its rich flora and fauna. India is ranked 10th among the rich plants and 6th among the origin of agricultural crops. Many of the Indian spices are high demand in abroad. Out of all the biodiversity species, some of them are confined to a particular area and are called as endemic species. And our India is rich in endemic flora and fauna because 33% of the flowering plants are found only in India. Now let's discuss about the hotspots of biodiversity. The places which exhibit high species richness are termed as hotspot of biodiversity. Globally, there are 25 hotspots of biodiversity, out of which 2 are present in India, which are Eastern Himalayas and Western Ghats. This list shows the 25 global hotspots of biodiversity, in which two are highlighted for India, which are Eastern Himalayas and the Western Ghat. The Eastern Himalayas geographically comprises of Nepal, Bhutan and other northern states. These states consist 35,000 plant species, out of which 30% are endemic in nature, which means these are only found in the Eastern Himalayas. 63% of mammals and 60% of Indian birds are found in the Eastern Himalayas. Plants such as fir, conifer, and conical shaped medicinal plants are found here. Orchid plant, grasses, tall oak trees, and pine trees are the defining feature of Himalayan regions. And when we talk about animal, we can see wild dogs, snow leopard, bison, snow goose, mountain goat, snow leopard in these mountainous regions. Talking about the Western Ghats, that is Sri Lanka, geographically it comprises of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. More than 1500 endemic species of plants are found here, and 62% of amphibians are also found here. Plants including teak tree, jamun tree, and cashew trees are the highlight of Western Ghat. And flowering plants such as ornamental orchid is also found here. Because of the human intervention, the process of extinction of a particular species has become very fast, and this change leads to a major imbalance and threatens the normal ecological cycle, causing threat to biodiversity. Some causes are listed here, like loss of habitat due to deforestation and destruction of the wetlands. Natural habitat of the flora and fauna is disturbed, which act as a threat to the biodiversity. Another cause is poaching, which means illegal hunting of animals for their skin or fur. Another cause and issues which is related to the threats to biodiversity is the man and wildlife conflict. Because of human encroachment, forest cover is shrinking. In search of food, the wild animals encounter human and get injured. And sometimes farmer killed wild animals to protect their crops. And because of this, many of the important species have become endangered in our country. Some endangered species of plants and animals which are on the verge of extinction are listed here. Example: tortoise, peacock, tiger, lion, and medicinal plants. This leads to the conclusion that biodiversity needs conservation to protect flora and fauna within its natural habitat. Here we have listed biosphere reserves and national park and wildlife sanctuaries for conservation of biodiversity. During conservation of the species, we prefer the species which are more important to the human. By identifying the species which are at high risk of extinction, we give them maintenance and breeding of species in the controlled environment. Also, the survival of the species increases due to special care and attention, and these conservation method ensures the longer lifespan of the flora and fauna species due to assured food, water, shelter, and security. But we must also consider that these methods are very expensive methods and the animals cannot survive in the natural environment.